This time we're going to look at some more common solid editing tools, and the first one we're going to look at is a tool called Slice. So what we can do with Slice is take any 3D object and dissect it into two parts. So I'm just going to go into the home view and I'm just going to draw a box like this, and then I'm going to go into the top view and just draw a line that goes straight through our box. So I'm going to use this line here as my guide, like a straight edge if you will. So let's go back into the home view and let's go to conceptual so you can see what's going to go on here. And the slice tool is this one just here, and all we do is we click on slice and it says select the object. So we're going to select our box, press enter, and then it says specify a start point of slicing plane. So we're just going to click on each end of our line like this and press enter one more time, and as you can see it's now sliced that box into two parts. And I'm sure you can appreciate the power of this, especially if we were to try and create custom rostra or decking for a theatre show. This is a very useful tool in order to be able to do that. The next tool we're going to look at is called the Fillet tool. Now we've already used the Fillet tool in our 2D work, and it's the same tool that we can apply to our 3D work. So let's just create a box here, and I'm going to create this box to a certain size. Let's say 1000, press tab, 1000, and then 1000 for the height, like so. Let's just slightly navigate round so you can see what's going on, and we'll change this to conceptual view for ease of seeing. And we're just going to go to the Fillet tool. Now that's this one here in the modify panel, and it says select the first object. So we're going to actually click on the edge here of our box, and it says enter a fillet radius. So let's do 100, and then it says select another edge. So we can at this point choose to select just one more edge and press enter, and you can see that we get this kind of fillet that has a certain style and look about it, and you can see it's mitered the corner there, and that's slightly different to selecting three sides. So I'm going to do this again. Let's just go to perspective just so it looks a bit more natural, and I'm going to do this again. I'm going to select all three edges of our corner this time. So I'm going to go to the Fillet tool, let's select the first edge, and it's already, as you can see, set to 100, so I'm going to press enter, and then I'm going to select the other two edges. So I've got all three selected and press enter, and you can see that this gives a slightly different appearance where we've now got a rounded corner on our box. Okay, so that's the two different ways that you can use that tool. Whenever we're moving objects around in the 3D space, it can sometimes be confusing, and that's where the Gizmo tools come in. Now you can see in the modify panel we have three different tools here. We've got 3D move, we've got 3D rotate, and 3D scale. So let's go to 3D move for a start, and here you can see then that this is the Gizmo, and we have a red, green and blue arrow, and they denote the X, Y, Z, as you can see here on the UCS. And all we need to do in order to use this gizmo is click on any arrow, and it will only move in that one plane. And we can of course specify a distance. So let's say I moved this by 500, and it has now moved across in that direction that I pulled my cursor to. You can also click on these squares. You can just see them probably highlighting as I move over the little squares here. And you can see that if I was to click on any one of those, that I'm actually picking up two arrows at any one time. And that now means that I can move in multiple directions at once. The next tool is a rotate tool. And you can see if I select this object, I now get three rings, again in RGB. And if I select any one of those rings, let's say the red one here, I can now rotate around that axis. And I can even type in a value. Now, just as we mentioned in previous examples, it's worth remembering that AutoCAD uses mathematics as its engine here. So we need to remember that if we want to rotate clockwise, we need to type in -90, for example, and it will rotate round 90 degrees. The last one is scale, and with 3D scale we get 3 blocks instead of arrows, and we can now scale our object by a factor. So if I wanted this twice as big, type in 2, enter, and it is now twice as big.